Well, it's about that time. Ding, 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 ding. We're looking over my top 10 figures of the year that I bought in 2023 that may have not come out in 2023. No shit, Sherlock. I'm not sure if that means allowed to cuss in the first few seconds, but I don't really care. Anyway, looking at the number 10 spot, we have the Transformers Legacy J-Axis. There was so much fun stuff about this figure, I won't lie. The figure was so fun. I mean, sure, there was a lot. It has a lot of problems on its own with yellowing and greening, but the figure just looks so nice. It's very posable, but I was hit with a lot of QC, and I'm pretty sure other people were hit with this. That just kind of like brings it down to why it is in 10th place. If not, it would have been maybe in like five. But I'm going soft with this. I just want to like show y'all. Look at that knee. I probably could fix it, but it's a flat head pin, and so I probably can't, and I could just barely reach that, but I don't think I'll be able to. But yeah, I mean, the figure is really great. I mean, in terms of posability, it's amazing. I mean, in terms of weapons, he has a total of 3 separate weapons as such. You have this nice transparent blaster, and you have a larger red version of this. If I'm correct, this is the one that's Optimus Prime using the G2 comic, so not really sure why he has it. But the figure looks great overall. Every other posable figure, it practically transforms into, well, nothing at all. It transforms into really nothing. Taking off the weapon right here, I mean, sure it's accurate to what was in the G2 comics, but it just kind of looks bland to me. I mean, sure, it looks like what a spacecraft would look like. The details are nice, but then again, this doesn't really look like much of anything. I mean, seriously, it just looks like a giant bird that looks somewhat like it's known what it's doing, but also what it's not supposed to be doing. I found a way to make this better, but it doesn't really increase it that much. Just by taking the wings, folding them forward as such, and then flipping out these back wings, we kind of make it look more like a plane. But that doesn't really help the figure, especially when you have his head just poking out right there, and the entire chest just being transparent plastic. And, having the entire arms at the bottom. But, hey, with most really articulated figures that they released, they're all just, practically none in what is the vehicle mode. Anyway, on to the next one. And for my number, I believe it's number 9 spot. Yes, my number 9 spot. Here we have the Transformers Legacy. I think it was Evolution, if I'm correct. Evolution Metal Hawk. And this guy's nice. I mean, overall, the paint is almost non-existent. I mean, it's all just really just bland plastic. But, I mean, I believe that allows for more playability. I mean, it is based off of the, I believe it's the Kingdom Cyclonus mode, which is one of the best modes I've heard. I've never owned the figure. This is my first experience to this. But taking off the weapons so we can check them out real quick, it comes with 3 separate weapons, because these 2 guns combined together. I mean, overall, the sword does look nice, and even though this is not functional as a sword as much as it would just be functional for stabbing. I'm not sure if he does that in the show. And, of course, you have these 2 little guns, which are necessary for his jet mode. They look nice, but like, they only really look nice whenever they're combined. Separate, they just kind of look bland. And Metal Hawk on his own looks, well, it looks nice. I mean, the paint is very minimal, but what's there is actually very, very nice. And the reason why it's lower on the spot, because, I mean, I do consider him a bit better than some of the other figures that I do have. The thing that really brings him down for me was the fact that his wing broke right here, and I had to fix that. And the fact that I don't really have any sentimental attachment to this character. I mean, same thing with G-Axis. That's also why he's so low on the list. But onto the vehicle jet mode, where I both love and hate this thing at the same time. So look at the figure here. The bland plastic really starts to show, specifically on the back, the joints, and obviously where you store the weapons. The one thing that really bothers me about the figure is the back right here, these engines. I don't know what vehicle this is based off of, so this could be completely accurate or inaccurate, but I don't really know. The fact that there's extra fins right here, but then again, it's accurate to the gun that he used. But for me personally, just kind of And right here, I mean, it looks nice. Minus the fact that the arms are just poking out right there. I mean, I found a way that you can kind of fix that by folding in the wings a bit more. So if you just fold the wings a bit more, it looks a bit more cohesive. Other than the fact you still got the arms poking and not the fact that the wings are up top. I don't know. I just feel like there's a way to fix that, but then again, they're using Cyclonus mode, so it's kind of that's why it has to be like that. But like, if they were to like completely overhaul this figure, I really wish this could have like somehow tucked way into the body, so the wings were actually more closer. Because if not, it just kind of looks like a really, really ugly profile. It makes the cockpit seem a lot smaller than what it's supposed to be. But anyway, number 8 is Legacy/Legacy Evolution Blitzwing. I mean, this figure's pretty good. I know there's a lot of complaints about his modes and his accessories, but for me personally, I don't find them that annoying. So let's just take these off so we can look at him as such. Wow, I keep forgetting how much stuff I have on this guy. Woo. I just like to keep all the accessories on him, but you know, it can get a bit annoying whenever you try to take them all off. So let me just arrange these as such. Here we have all the accessories to Legacy Bludgeon. So you can see here we have these ginormous Hulk fist hands, and like that toy guy said, you know, you can put this on his right arm specifically and give him the right fist of doom, I think it was. I mean, these look nice. You know, you get a rotation. You know, you get a hinge right at the right there at the fingers for no apparent reason. I mean, yeah, they're all full just transmetal plastic. I almost said transmetal, but it's transparent plastic. I mean, yeah, it looks nice overall. Looks pretty spot on. Some of the plastic did chip right here, which kind of sucks. Makes it to where whenever the guns peg in, I don't think it even really plugs on here. But sometimes I'd like to plug it in here and make some sort of like super weapon. So, you know, plugging in at the top is kind of loose now, as such. And here we'll be looking at one of his guns. You see right here, very reminiscent of obviously the G1 guns, such. And here we have the sword. This might be my favorite and also least favorite because I find I'm using whenever I use this figure, I like play around with it and stuff. I usually like to use this weapon instead of the guns and the giant fists. But it's rubber plastic, so you know it doesn't get that stiffness that Metal Hawks or Bludgeon sword has. Not just that, but the paint scratches off so easily. I'm not sure you can see it, but you can just see like the plastic, especially right here, just scratching all off. But anyway, moving all off the side and looking at the actual figure of Bludge himself, he's pretty spot on to what you see in the G1 show. I mean, obviously people were kind of mad about these big flaps right here, but personally, I don't really see a problem with him. Another thing that was yet again the shoulders. That he has Legacy, I think it was a Laser Prime syndrome, to where these cannot rotate, and you just have this one flap so you can rotate it forward. Hopefully there's an upgrade kit for that. I mean, sure, the arms are kind of limited in how far they can go out, but I think it's fine. Plus, this is one of the only other Transformers that actually has a proper skirt, and I found a way to fix that arm issue. If you just untab the arm slightly, and you lift it out, you can get way better range with the arm itself. That's what I usually do to get him in those action poses and stuff. I mean, yet again, he's also got some decent bad QC, but this is mainly on mine because I like to keep the giant fists on him whenever I put him away. So his elbows are kind of loose, so he can't really lift up the actual arms itself. Obviously, the paint scratches really easily, and another big problem with mine is, for some odd reason, this is not fully pegged on. So you can see it's very wobbly, so, you know, whenever I have this figure, it's just kind of dangling there in the back. It's a lot more apparent whenever we get to tank and jet mode. Anyway, time to show off in his next video. Here we have tank mode. As you can see, it's pretty solid. You know, it rolls around decently well. It looks nice. It's very beefy and chunky, a lot more stylized. Always, and yet again, you got that very, very, very floppy turret itself. Kind of sucks, but hey, it is what it is. Obviously, you get the rocket boosters at the back. You know, so it's kind of like a supercharged tank almost. Yet again, people have been noticing that his dingling is pointing out, but this is actually accurate to what is in the actual show. But, you know, yet again, I don't really see how they couldn't just made it so it actually like shifts in a bit more, so you don't have the entire cockpit of the jet just kind of sitting out there for no apparent reason at all. But alright, on to the actual here we have jet mode. I mean, overall, it looks pretty nice for a jet. You know, obviously, you got the top profile, which looks pretty nice, other than the obvious shoulder pieces. I mean, it looks nice. It looks like a jet. You know, sadly, due to the animation accuracy they wanted to go for, you do have basically a second cockpit from beneath. So if you were flying this jet around, you're basically having to constantly look down at the ground. So, you know, yeah. And like people said before, Not everything's perfect about this guy, which kind of puts him lower on the list, but he is one of my personal favorites. I mean, you do get some nice landing gear, but, you know, it doesn't really work. It just barely touches the ground, because this is basically the rest of the landing gear. And yet again, this is what I like to do. I basically have solutions for everything. You can almost use it as a stand, almost, for how he flies around. Or you could just completely get rid of the pin from this side. Or from right here. But, you know, I don't really like taking my figures apart. So, you know, that's not really an option for me. Alright. On to number 1. We went through 10, 9, 8. This one's 7. It's my bad, guys. I'm not good with math. Not good at all. Big, chunky-ass Skyquake right now. I mean, I know I went on a bit of a rant on why this figure is kind of meh, in my opinion. But compared to a lot of my other figures, and the fact that a lot of my other good figures are not ones that I bought this year. But, I mean, still, this guy looks pretty nice, obviously. So we'll just take a look at his weapon as such. There's 2 weapons, actually. He comes with 2 said weapons. First of all, you got his minigun, which looks really nice. Looks like a mincer right now. It looks like a mincer. It feels a bit small for him, but I don't really mind. You can take out the clip of the ammo, which is not really a clip, but as much as it is just a fold-out sword. It's really nice. Doesn't really look much like his sword, so I'll probably just buy, like, along down the lines, I'll probably buy a better sword, because this one kind of is dumb. It's floppy, because whenever I tried using the sword usually, like, bends forward because of the joint. And due to it being transparent plastic, it's already starting to crack on mine a little bit. I don't think you can even really see it. Like, you can see a bit of the crack marks. You know, which kind of sucks, but, you know, it is what it is. Looking at the actual figure itself, I have to have this guy way at the back, because, you know, I'm filming on a phone. So you can see this guy right here. I was kind of struggling on whether to put the next figure or him himself. But I decided to go with him. I'm going to have to back him up a bit more. I'm stretching a lot right now. As you can see, he looks really nice. I mean, his posability is exquisite, and that butterfly joint really saves him. But I would have really appreciated it if it somehow tabbed into place, because it's just kind of flopping there, and these arm joints weren't so tight whenever you try moving it. Because whenever you try bringing, because right here, it's completely fine. And right here, it goes up, and it's a lot squeaky, and it's a lot more tough to bring down. I mean, with times, they're probably going to loosen up. And also, the shoulders can be a bit annoying of how you want to pose them. The fact that his heels are also pretty small, so usually tends to fall like that. Also because of how big his backpack is. I do wish right here was a bit more filled out. And yet again, I wish his chest was a lot more filled out. It's completely gappy. You can see my fingers through the entire figure. At that point, you should just make a matrix chamber for this guy. I think that would have been cool. I mean, the paint is pretty good for what is on it. I mean, it's back to that huge leader aesthetic to where he's just chunky. And if you're wondering where these little spikes went, my figure did not come with this. That's kind of why he's lower than the next couple of figures, because of that 1 QC issue. And, you know, well, that sucks, because, well, technically I didn't come with, well, technically I do only have 1. But since I like symmetry, I decided to just take it off. And when I eventually do buy his brother, Dreadwing, then I can somehow, then, you know, you can have more difference between the two instead of just, you know, colors and gun. Alright, so on to the jet mode. And here's the vehicle mode. Let's see here, it looks really nice. It's semi-reminiscent of what his jet mode was. See, a lot of wings, a lot of spike. You know, it looks pretty nice. I mean, when you see Skyquake at first, you just think that he's, you know, he's a big, you know, he's probably like a giant tank, a big monster truck, something like that. No, he's just a very, very chunky jet. You know, obviously you got your gimmicks such as opening the cockpit. If I can get it open, I'm just going to do this. Opening the cockpit, which is very loose on my copy, and you have 2 little cockpits, so you can get a kind of sense of scale. Obviously, you got the landing gear that seemed to have fallen down, that you can obviously fold up. And I don't have needle nose, so I can't really attach it at the right there. But what you can do is you can take his minigun and attach it by plugging it right into his anus. As such. So now you can get a ginormous, beefy jet with a minigun at the bottom. Whoever thought of this idea was a real genius. Because I'm just saying, you know, Fury in the sky. Am I right? I'm pretty sure this should have been in Top Gun Maverick. All right, on to number 5, if I'm correct, because this is number 4. Not even number 4. Wait, I'm dumb. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. This is Jesus Christ. I cannot count. This is number 6. Oh, I'm even more stupid. Am I? Yes, I am. One second. Because I'm stupid. There's 10, 10, 9, 8. This would make it, wait, 10, 9, 8, 7. That does not make as much sense to me. I don't really care. Honestly, next up, we got Siege Astro Train, because why not? Why not? I bought this guy from like I guess you could say kind of local toy store, but then again, it's like 30 minutes away from me. And I just had to go run so I can grab what's left of his caboose. But, you know, here it is. You know, he's a very nice figure overall. I mean, he comes with a lot of accessories. For instance, he has 5. But sadly, whenever I bought this figure, you know, it was used, so it only came with 3 of the accessories. So let's just take everything off, and I'll probably just find a random image of all of his guns and probably just put that in the video somewhere so you can get a sense of all the things this guy got. So here you go. You know, you gotta have your strap on. You got a classical cannon. I mean, it looks nice. It's just your basic gun, essentially. He straight up just got a minigun right here. So, you know, how I like to do it is, instead of just him holding it, I usually just have it in holding it under barrel, because it looks a lot better. And this thing is kind of loose, so, you know, I usually have to put some stuff in it so I can make it tighter. You got his missile launcher. Then you got 2 guns I don't have. You got his caboose, which is nice. You know, you can just, you can plug into his train. I'll probably show that off later. You know, it can fold off, so you can fold up, so you know you can carry the shuttle away, or actually launch the shuttle. Sadly, this is probably something that's on everyone's copy, but it does not like to stay down at all. Yeah. But anyway, let's check the actual robot himself right now. Wow, this thing is... Okay, I'm not getting it right now. What is up with this thing? It is not timing in. I'm doing this off camera right behind it, and there we go. I finally got it. Anyway, looking at Astro Train right here. Raise that up a little bit. That looks pretty nice. It's a bit too blocky for what Astro Train was. It's supposed to be a lot more slimmed down. I mean, the backpack looks pretty good, you know, other than all the purple at the back. But then again, what can you really expect? Articulation was pretty good. One thing that kind of sucked is, you know, no wrist rotation. But one thing that he does have over his brother is a sword-wielding wrists. But then again, he doesn't really have a sword, so, you know. Yeah, and this is one of the first figures that actually had like the skirt piece and stuff. Sadly, his arm doesn't move out too much to the side, but unless you like somewhat untab it a bit and bring it out. Thank you, Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer, for noting that out to me. But anyway, let's go into a separate vehicle. Here he is in train mode. I think it looks nice. I mean, obviously this is Siege, so it's kind of like a Cybertronian train. You can definitely tell because the back part right here where the engine is, or where the conductor, if I'm correct, is right here. I think it's supposed to be a bit more higher up. Also, it just doesn't really look like it just looks like it. I mean, I could barely even tell it's there, really. I mean, you know, it just doesn't really look like anything's there, especially because this is where the rocket is, so it definitely feels like nothing. I mean, the train looks nice. The front looks pretty good until you notice that, you know, it's a bit off. You know, I kind of wish this kind of extended even just a bit more to fill that out. Because, I mean, sure, these do kind of look like guns now. But, you know, when you look at the side, you know, you just got that major difference right there. But, you know, overall, I think it looks pretty good. And here's what it looks like with attached with the actual caboose itself. So you can have him, you know, delivering a bunch of weapons and stuff for the revolution. You know, not bad. And here we have him in the shuttle mode. I think it looks all right. It's one of my less. I think it's my least favorite out of the two. And you know, this is kind of the mode he's like most well known for. And the fact is that it's my second most favorite is kind of concerning. I mean, from the front, you know, it looks like it looks like a shuttle. Other than, you know, this is a bit more boxy than it should. They shouldn't be here. Then when you get to the bottom, oh my god, What happened? I mean, it looks so unfinished. Like, I feel like they could have, like, taken some of the mass up here that makes this up and separate it into two halves, because boy, does this look ugly as hell. Like, honestly, it looks like those cars that don't even have the actual, that don't actually have, like, the entire, like, part of the car that makes it look nice, and it's just, like, the actual, I think it's called, I don't know, I guess I'll just call it the bone of it. It's basically just the bone of it. Like, there's nothing covering this up, and it makes it look very uneven. And it honestly just kind of disturbs me. You know, and like I said before, you can obviously put them on here, and it's not really going to do much because of how uneven it is. You know, obviously you can flip this down. You know, you can get ready for takeoff, you know, stuff like that. Get ready for takeoff. You can just, you know, blast off. There you go. If you had some blast effects, I'm pretty sure you can do something better than that. But anyway, on to the next one. To get some, the last one was number 7. I'm pretty sure this one's number 6. So on to the next figure. We have Legacy Evolution Pro, which was a runner-up from near enough number 1, but then again, I have had 3 figures. Technically, one of them is borrowed from my brother, so shout out to him. You know, he doesn't even have a YouTube channel, and I'm still shouting him out. But anyways, here, you know, he looks nice. And I'm taking a look at his accessories real quick. You come with 2. They're supposed to, like, basically do the crash bar thing, and I would have put them on this list. I really would have, but these other figures were so good. But sadly, unlike Crash Bar, whenever you just take out one and the rest of them come out, it doesn't really do that on this one. You just kind of have to fold them all out. On this one, it kind of does it, but, you know, there you go. And I think most people should know about is that with this hand, this is a regular old hand that's meant for, like, 5mm ports, so it can't really hold it that well. This hand is a bit more slimmed down, so it's actually meant to hold the actual shuriken itself. You know, so it looks nice. You know, it looks nice. You know, putting these back on because he does look kind of naked without them. You know, I think it looks nice. It looks pretty nice. Whenever I first saw this, I'm like, wow, animated Prowl. Now that's something. And I'm starting to watch the show right now because I never got to when I was younger, because I was born in 2008. The show came out in like 2007. I was still a baby, didn't know nothing. My first introduction was the original G1 series, and I all thought they were all connected some way in different timelines. But looking at the figure, no, it looks nice. The paint is applicated where it needs to be applicated. You know, the thighs are a bit big for what they are. With the whole thing with the animated designs, they're meant to be a bit more slimmed down in the thigh. But then again, his thigh was slimmed down. It looked like a little pouch. So I'm kind of glad they worked that in, because if not, this figure probably would have been a lot more of a nightmare. I think that really does get this figure up is the amount of, like, high kick and posability this guy has due to the way his knees are or his legs are. You can get a double joint, and you can get him into some really dynamic poses. Like, most figures can't even do that, and especially when it comes to that ab crunch. I mean, sure, it's very small and very, you know, subtle, but, you know, it gets the job done. And one thing I did kind of notice is this kind of looks like, you know, this kind of looks like Armada sideways. That's just me, right? I mean, think about it. Like, if they made this like they just took off this head, made his weird headmaster with the weird feet thing, you know, make it so there was cannons right here, and change the whole color scheme, of course. Maybe get rid of the shurikens. You know, I feel like this figure, I mean, this could probably work as an animated sideways pretty well. Anyway, let's go into the vehicle mode. Animated Prowl in his vehicle mode. Flipping up the kickstand, you know, it's very reminiscent of how it looked like in the original cartoon. Other than the size, he's a bit oversized compared to animated Bumblebee and animated Prime that's coming out. I mean, but then again, Transformers has never been good with scale. I mean, just look at the Nemesis, look at the Ark, look at Unicron, look at any figure. None of them are to scale at all. None. Like, some not even in robot mode, like Galaxy Shuttle and Victory Saber. Like, Galaxy Shuttle is meant to be bigger than Star Saber and the same size as Victory Saber. And, you know, that again, and then when you get the actual figure, he's at his knee, if not maybe shorter. But, you know, it looks fine. You know, I'm kind of bothered by how the entire, you know, part of the butt and chest and entire leg is just kind of there. But, you know, it's fine. I mean, it rolls well for a bike. Probably one of the best bikes. Fuck you, Legacy RC. That thing was a work, and I'm kind of disappointed. That's kind of what most figures are now. It's just all Legacy RC, and I'm hoping that when they make a road pig, they either take this figure or they take the crap. What was his name again? the Junkion that turns into a bike. I think his name is Crash Bar. There you go, Crash Bar. Because that figure has like the 3 lights in the chest and the smokestacks at the back, so I feel like that's what's going to be a road pig. But anyway, on to the next figure. Next is Legacy Motormaster. And this is my first Commander class and one of my most expensive figures besides, number 1. And I bet you're wondering who that is. And you'll get to that later. I mean, obviously he has his trailer. This is basically this is basically just an accessory on its own. I mean, it looks nice. I mean, you got the turret up top. Looks nice. And obviously you got his massive sword right here. And he fell. You have a massive sword right here. I mean, for him, it feels a bit oversized, but for Menasor, it's a bit small. Looking at the actual figure itself, paint apps are actually pretty spot on to how he looked. Looks nice, to show his superiority to Megatron, he's got a bucket head inside of a bucket head. You do get a bit of kibble, obviously, but then again, I've never really cared for kibble as long as it doesn't get in the way, and this doesn't really get in the way of the motion. The legs are probably the most engineered part and probably my most favorite part of this entire figure because that is just so expressive. You can give that high crane kick and stuff. Looks pretty nice. And if you unpeg these joints, you can almost get a butterfly joint, but it does look a bit strange from other angles. But, overall, I feel like it looks pretty nice. And here's the vehicle mode. I mean, I'd say it looks pretty nice. The actual cab itself is nice. The only bad thing is that paint is scratching right here. But, it's fine. Actual cab, it's good. Obviously a hole right there so his head can go through. It rolls fine. I'd say it rolls pretty well. Not much to really say about it other than, it's just a giant black cab with, purple parts right here. Excuse me. Obviously, what is the knee, so, it looks a bit more techno. The trailer itself is decent. It does come with a kickstand. That is pathetically small. If I can just get it out. There we go. it is fairly small for what its size is. Obviously, basically at the entire thighs and chest of Menasor out here. They're not, the color not really mismatching. Obviously, if I'm correct, this plastic cannot be painted on, so, it kind of just stops right there. And same thing right here, so these are, I believe, the ankles, and these are the back of the feet, so, and, at least they tried to make it look like an actual door, for what it is. And I'd say it looks pretty good. Obviously, it rolls better when it's with him. And with the rest of the Stunticons, he looks pretty good. I'll probably show that off. Here we have Menasor. He's massive that I have to back him all the way up, and I can't zoom anymore out. Because this is as far as I can go. I mean, overall, like, the entire Stunticon group took me at least, like, a year to get. So, I would put Drag Strip on here. But, he came out in 2022. Don't let that made one then. Technically, the rest of his figures I did get, but they're nowhere near as good as any of the ones on this list. And together, I just think he looks great. This is one of my first combiners, if I'm correct. Unless you want to count the Junkions, who almost made it on this list. But then again, all these other figures are better than them. But, he looks nice. The only, real big complaint I got is, it's got the basic articulation. But then again, it has to be so big and do so much. And the fact that the sword is so small. And that also that his hands don't open. And that this doesn't really go anywhere. You can put it on his back like a jetpack. But, that's all you can really do. But, on to the next figure. What better figure to be at the number 3 spot than none other than Legacy Evolution Bludgeon. Me, like other people, really did like this figure. He looks amazing. Yes, it's just Tarn. There's not really much rework done to it other than giving him a sword and new head sculpt. But I find this better than Tarn. And I don't even have that figure yet because, possible to find basically. But it's so much fun. Because the thing with Tarn is there's only so many fusion cannon poses that you can get. With this guy, with that sword, you can get him into so many dynamic poses. Speaking about, just weapons in general and accessories, he comes with 4 total accessories. Here we have his nice-ass sword. This is one of the skinniest swords I've seen. This is smaller than Menasor's, but it fits Bludgeon so well. Obviously, you got the 2 cannons as such. Oh, my bad. You got the 2 cannons. You got the holder where the cannons go onto, so you can peg that on there. Obviously, you got Bludgeon himself. He looks pretty nice. The legs do go forward pretty far. That one thing that really saved him was the double jointed knee. And obviously the opening fingers. And this kind of mid-joint has really helped with poses and stuff. The one thing that did really get me is obviously the trigger-happy shoulders. Because these are the bane of my existence. Ooh, they suck. But, you know, things that you can do with the gun is... You know, obviously you can flip that back and, you know, give him obviously the Tarn fusion cannon if you want to. Or another thing you can do is, you know, just take it off and just give him 2 separate fusion cannons. Or, better yet, you can give him 1 giant rifle. Or, one of my personal favorites that I feel works for bludgeon the most is where if you raise these up, put these on this second tab. Then you can just put it on his back as such, and then just put it down, and there you go. You got these like over shoulder cannons that I feel look really amazing. You can have them blasting all the Autobots, just going bang 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 boom and stuff. Awesome. Onto the vehicle mode. We have vehicle mode. And yet again, like I said with G-Axis, the better the robot, the more strange the vehicle mode. I mean, obviously, you know, you can tell it looks like a tank. Obviously, you know, the whole, like, you know, lanky, very tall figure just kind of collapsed. Cool thing is, you know, the big treads and the cow catcher, you know, it doesn't roll per se, as more as just glides because it doesn't really have wheels. All it really has is these little things. Don't really know why they couldn't add that. You know, tank turret obviously can rotate. Can not even really go up that much, but, you know, that's fine. And it's not bad of a figure. On to the number 2 spot. Here we have Transmetal 2 Megatron. You know, the figure looks really good. It's very nice, obviously. Because, you know, no duh, it has to be nice. You know, here it is, you know. Take a look at the accessory, obviously. You know, it's only one. It's just the fire piece, which is a, you know, heavy retool, but also kind of a reuse of what they used to make the, I think it was the fire from the, I think it was a leader, last night Megatron. So you have the figure right here. You know, it looks nice. It's very big. It's very chunky. You know, the posability on this guy is pretty great. He's just big and brooding and bulkish, and that's what I love about this guy. He's just big and bulkish. There's nothing else that needs to be added to this guy. I mean, he just looks perfect, other than, you know, really the head sculpt and stuff. But then again, you know, I don't really mind it. I mean, as long as the figure is good itself, I'm fine with it. Alright, on to the... And here he is in beast mode. And honestly, he looks really amazing. And if y'all are wondering why this video is going to be coming 2 weeks a bit late than, or basically 3 weeks late, it's because I've been kind of like on a, I guess you could say, spiritual way. I've been just trying to focus on myself, reflect on what I've been doing and stuff. I know you're wondering why you're saying this, like at the number 9 spot. It's primarily because of procrastinating and work. But the reason why this figure was so high up, and it's just because of the beast mode on its own. Posability is pretty fine, but with the best part about this is the actual neck itself, how it's so much more free and expressive here, especially with the flame effect part. It just feels so much more better in this mode, despite having no waist joint. And the fact that the arms are fully, like, articulated is actually just, honestly, like, one of the best things for me about this thing. What's even better is that if you're able to get a light, are these memorable? That if you get a light, you were, I didn't get to show this in the robot mode, but you were able to light up the head. But you are able to, like, light up that part of the chest right there. And if you want to, you could probably try to light up the wings, even though it might not even look good. But yeah, that's why this figure's at number 9. And time to go on to my number 1 spot. Guess that means this is number 2. Time to go on to the number 1 spot. To everyone's absolute surprise or in surprise look on their face, it's gotta be Legacy Metroplex. Yes, it did take me a while to get this figure. It took all the way to 2023, but I feel like it is well worth it. As you can tell, it's my bed and my Doom helmet for reference. This is where I always leave it, so. Yeah. This figure is just so much damn fun. I mean, when you look at it, it's just a gestalt. The posability on this guy is impeccable. I mean, compared to most Titans, he ain't a brick. I'm sure he's a bit unstable, but that's why he's got them ginormous feet, even if they are a bit clumsy sometimes. And his weapon is just amazing. Here, let me put down, or no, not even put down. Here, let me see if I can get this thing off. I mean, just look at that. It's as big as he is, if not a bit bigger. This weapon is just so much fun. You can even just start spinning the saw right here. Ain't that a bunch of fun? And the paint details on this guy are, painted parts of him are actually really good. And he just looks amazing. Plus, he has one thing that most Transformers don't, and that's an ab crunch dedicated for him. And yet again, if we get some light right here, put it behind his head, you do get some very, very nice light piping. And like, I'm not sure if like a lot of the figures have this now, but he does have an opening mouth and stuff. And if I move this chain out the way, he does have a fairly good articulated neck. I just wish like at the end it was at a ball joint so it'd get a bit more expressive. Alright, on to the vehicle mode, if I can fit it on. I forget to show off his work mode, or as I like to say, the mining mode. And overall, it's very, very goofy. Very, very goofy design for how they did it. And yes, you can call it lazy, but I just think that's what brings the charm a little bit. Because you can finally get somewhat of a use for these for being front feet. Unlike in the excavator mode, really. You still get the buzzsaw and stuff. It wouldn't fall. That's kind of a problem. The joints on the shoulders do get loose because of how heavy some of the weapons are. You do get your claw, which is nicely articulated as such. I would move the rest of his body, but then I'd have to put down my camera. The head sculpt looks pretty nice. It's a lot, I consider it better than what the original toy had. Especially since, you know, it wouldn't really cover up the Metroplex face. And yet again, what you can do is if you turn this on, you can light up his eyes. Which does make him look very, very sinister and evil for being a very, very heroic character. But overall, now we're going to go, finally, into vehicle mode. Here's the vehicle mode. As you can tell, it's not much of anything, really. It's just kind of a basic shape of what you think an excavator would look like. I mean, sure, it does have nice play features, like, well, you're able to lift these up. You're able to use these parts as you want. I don't know why you really want to. You do get to open these parts, which is nice. You do get the cannons. Obviously, you do get the rotation. You get the joints. You obviously get the saw right there. You get some sawing action. And it rolls all right for having, like, well, it's actually rolling pretty well right now. All right. So you can say, so easy. The only thing that's, like, really bringing him up more than the other figures is, like, the Titan, like, posability. The fact that he's my first Titan. And just the fact that I love Metroplex, especially the Cybertron version with the Scottish accent. Not saying I don't like the G1. Personally, I just think that the Scottish accent and the fact that he's the leader of Gigantian, it just brings that nice little touch. And on the Unicron trilogies, I'm not going to lie, the ending was kind of somewhat lackluster. I won't go too deep into it right now, but I'll probably explain it in a video later on in my life. So here we go. That was my top 10 figures of this year. You can agree, you can disagree. You can agree, agree, disagree. I don't really care. That's your opinion. What you want to say is what you want to say. Just please, if anyone does ever see this, and if anyone comments on this video, please, I'm begging you, can we not bully each other for like 5 minutes? Especially about like anyone in general. It's your own opinion. Keep it to yourself. You can say something about someone all you want, but that's just how they look. It's you gotta, like the way I'm going right now. See the beauty in everything, and that's what I'm trying to do now. Like that that RC figure that I reviewed a while ago. I went on a rant why I hated that thing. I'm trying to like find the beauty in it. So that was kind of like a start for me. I've been trying to like focus on myself mentally and how I want to be as a person. So it's kind of like a Gideon almost kind of thing, minus the fact that I'm gonna go all Christian and delete my videos. No hate to Gideon. You know, believe in Jesus as well. But you know, that's just kind of how it goes. I was just at a locking point. A lot of things kind of helped me with this, and I know this has nothing to do with the list, but I just feel like I have to say this. I have to thank everyone out there. My family, my friends, the people who even watch these videos at all, despite me being very, very small and me putting very slight effort, which I hope to change. This is coming from someone who has no laptop or no way to edit these videos besides on his phone, which is, you know, not saying much. But the whole reason why I've decided to change is because of, well, like 10 songs I've been listening to on repeat, five movies, 3 shows, primarily Beast Wars and the Unicron trilogies really helped me, and a couple of Christian film, like a Christian film, reading back on some religious things. I finally watched Back to the Outback from 2021. It actually like really encapsulated how I feel, and so did the song Beautifully Ugly. I do recommend the song highly. It really did help me, and I still sing the song to this day. I still sing the song right now. I mean, it's kind of one of the big reasons why I'm like, wow, you gotta accept the beauty in some things. I mean, even if there is no silver lining, even the darkest of hours, you gotta light it. Like in the words of Optimus Prime, or in the words of his brother, Larry Cullen, be strong enough to be gentle. I want to improve myself. I want everyone to improve themselves. I want everyone to love who they are and not to just think about that stuff. I want everyone to accomplish their dreams. Don't find your purpose, make your purpose. Everyone wants to live. Even animals want to live. We attack them for no reason. They attack us because they're scared. Everyone's scared of everything. That's why we don't do what we want to do. So that's why I say just go out there. Live your life. Live your life how you want to. Be you. Be who you are. Like I said before, this has really nothing to do with the actual video. I'm sorry for procrastinating so much. I usually only have like 30 minutes to make these videos anyway, so I kind of have to rush it sometimes. And a lot of those times I have to do chores. So I hope some of y'all can understand, to the probably 5 people who are going to see this video. But I really do hope to improve myself. I'll probably make a video again about how I feel. Probably have a video with my friends if they want to be in it. That kind of stuff, you know, talking how I feel, how I feel, what I'm kind of going through, because I feel like that's kind of the best way I can do this kind of thing. Well, anyway, I just want to thank all of you, everyone who's ever watched these videos, especially to my family members that do watch these videos. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you guys watch this, and I'm glad that you guys at least enjoy this. Thank you to all of you. You're my family, my friends, all of you. Even the people that just watch these are just glimpse right by. Doesn't matter, as long as the fact that you even saw the video itself shows that at least some people care. So thank you. So just have self-trust, love yourself, love others, find the beauty in everything. Let people live, let yourself live. Give you your own opinion. Don't shadow others, and don't come at them for what they believe in. That's what makes the most perfect person perfect. They acknowledge their faults. They help others. They're able to use that to their advantage. So thank you all for being here. Signing off.